This call is now being recorded. Wala. One. Mm. Ayan. So, I guess yan lang apat ang papasok or meron pang isa. Lima. Lima pala sila. How about the others? Parang boys lang ang pumapasok dito ah. And isang girl. And we also have Guanyo. So, yan lang yung mga estudyante natin na pumapasok dito sa sa ating Nearpod. Again, katulad ng palagi yung pinaniniwalaan, experience is the best teacher. So if you experience things like this, of course you will learn. So you have to participate. So let me start. So for number one question, what is the geometric mean between 3 and 8? So kung masagot nyo siya, okay lang naman. If not, okay lang din. So ulitin ko lang yung sinabi ko sa parent ninyo. Sabi ko sa kanila, sana po meron silang valid reason kung bakit wala sila sa klase ngayon. Kasi as of 8:39 na October 22, ang meron lang tayo sa klase natin ay 19 students. Okay, so masyadong konti yun. Next, for number 2, you have to insert geometric means between 7 and 56. So, leading ngayon si Unite with 55 points. Ayan, for question number 3. What is the sum of the first 5 terms of a geometric sequence? 4, 6, 9, and so on. So, sum of the first 5 terms. We are looking for the sum of the first 5 terms. Still leading si Unite, si Charles, with 55 points. Parang di naman kayo sumasagot. Number 4, find the sum of the terms of the infinite geometric sequence, 45, 15, 5, and so on. So, yung mga hindi nakasali dyan, I want you to raise your hand for me to check kung nandyan kayo sa klase habang nanonood tayo sa kanila. Huwag ibababa ang kamay. Ayun, parang nagbago na yung points. Yan, we have Lorene Kayanan, 565 points as the number 1. Second is Velasco Jervin with 303. Number 3 is Justin Bernal. And we have Charles Unite. Number 5 question. If A sub 1 is 1 half and R is negative 2, what is S sub 6? Ayan. So we have now the results. As you can see, we have number one with 565 points. Kayanan Lorene. Number two, we have Charles Unite with 505 points. Number three, Velasco Jervin with 384 points. Bartolome Maria Claudine, 152 points. And Justin Bernal with 143 points. So, I guess yung iba, kaya hindi sila nakasagot. Primarily because they don't have an idea dun pa sa mga question na nasa nearpad natin today. So it is okay, and I am glad some of you have answered correctly.
Ma'am, excuse po, wala po ata kayong boses.
Salita ako ng salita na nawala pala ako. Naririnig na ako?
Opo, ma'am po.
Opo.
Salita ako ng salita, sabi ko, ba't parang walang sumasagot? Yung pala, di nyo ako naririnig. Ewan ko lang tong mga nasa live ko naririnig nila ako. Kasi ang gamit ko ay cellphone para sa sound. Hindi ko alam kung naririnig nila ako. Anyway, let us proceed. So we have geometric sequence. And what kind of sequence is geometric? Paano ba natin nakukuha yung mga next terms? Sige nga, pakisabi nga sa akin. Ay, may nag-chat naman pala. Nakamute po ata kayo, ma. Yes, Unite and Sumampong. Any idea about
By
geometric sequence?
by multiplying po.
We get the next terms by multiplying. How about you, Sumampong? Andiyan ba si Sumampong? Nulat ko lang ulit kasi napakapangit ng sulat ko. Ayan. So, geometric sequence is a sequence where we obtain where the next terms are obtained. Sulat ko lang ng maayos para matandaan ninyo. The next terms are obtained by multiplying a constant number to the preceding term. Preceding. Tugtong ko na lang dito. Ayan. Sayang kasi yung space term. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, for us to get the next terms, all we have to do is to multiply a constant number para makumpleto ko yung sequence or makuha ko yung mga next terms. Okay? And we also talk about the general term. Yung general term nitong geometric sequence. Or we also know this as the end term. So, maliit na n lang po ang gagamitin. The nth term. So, ano po yung nth term nito? You have a sub n is equal to, what is a sub n? Yes, Piscos. Diba ba si Piscos? Binaba niya na yung kanyang kamay. Sige, ano po yung ano natin, yung general term natin when it comes to geometric sequence? Ang ingay pala ng kapitbahay ko. A sub n is equal to? Oh, unite. Anong idea mo dito? Galamiton.
First term
First term times R or the ratio.
ratio.
Ano pa?
Po.
N minus 1 po.
Raised to n minus 1. Correct, kayanan. So, ayusin ko lang Napakapangit talaga ng sulat ko. Pasensyaan nyo na. So, we have a sub n is equal to first term times r raised to n minus 1, where n minus 1 is the exponent of r. So, all you have to do is to get the first term, the ratio, and the n para makompleto natin to. Like, for example, let us have an example. So, let us have an example. Let's say our what do you call this, sequence is 100, 200, ayan pinadali ko na, 400, 800, and so on. What will be our R? So, ano yung R natin? So, let's say, I am going to look for the A sub 14. Okay, so we're going to look for A sub 14. All we have to do is to identify kung ano yung mga need natin na nasa formula. We have A sub n is equal to E sub 1 times R raised to n minus 1. So we are going to identify n. We're going to identify what is n. What is the first term? What is the ratio? So what is our n? Sige po, sagot lang kayo.
14 po.
14, correct. How about a sub 1?
100 po.
Correct. How about r? How about the r? Galamiton. Asher. Ano ba si Asher?
Ma'am,
Ano po yung r nito? Sige, try mo. Try mo lang. 100, naging 200, naging 400, naging 800. What is r? What is the ratio? What is that number that when you multiply it to 100, it becomes 200? It will become 400 and 800. Asher?
hindi ko po alam, ma'am eh.
Di daw niya alam. How about the others? Valdemoro. Ayun pa may nagtaas. Sino nga yan? Si Justin. Tama ba ako?
Opo.
Opo. Ano po yung R natin?
Multiplying by 2.
Yes, we multiply it to 2. Diba? Ang simple lang. 2 lang pala yun. Yes po, 2 lang po yun. Nadidistract kasi ako sa picture ni Asher kaya tinatawag ko siya. So, next, we will substitute these values to the formula. So, n natin is 14, so we have a sub 14 equals the first term. My goodness. Mga tao dito. First term is 100 times r, which is 2, raised to n minus 1. That's 14 minus 1. Narinig nyo ba yung ingay dito? Mamula daw pong sound yung sa live po. Di daw po nila rinig. Opo, kasi wala pong yung earpod ko ay di po gumagana ngayon. So, nakakapag-live ako pero wala siyang sound. Oh, tama. Wala silang naririnig talaga sa live. Kasi yung earpod ko, wala, ayaw niya eh. Naka-earpod. Kaya nga, gamit ko ngayon dalawang account. Pansinin nyo sa ano natin. Dalawang account yung gamit ko. Kasi yung isa, cellphone. So, ito, ginagamit ko para may sound. Kasi yung laptop ko, sira, walang sound. So, kung gusto po nilang lumipat, pwede naman silang lumipat dito sa Google Meet. Ganun lang din naman, yung may data ka rin na ginagastos sa FB Live, pareho lang halos ng data na ginagastos sa Google Meet. So, pwede sila nang pumasok dito para marinig nila yung sinasabi ko. Kaya ko lang siya nila-live para kung talagang walang-wala silang internet. As in, FB one day lang or magkano lang yung data nila. Pwede pa rin nila makita yung solution. Okay? So, let's proceed. We have 100 times 2 raised to 13. And what is 2 raised to 13? Let us have a calculator. Kaka-install ko lang nito kahapon, no, para makita ninyo how to use the calculator. If you have your calculator there. So, maganda, meron kayong sariling calculator para if ever nagsasagot kayo, hindi kayo mahihirapan. Ayan. Liitan ko lang. So, pasabi na lang sa mga nasa FB Live ha na ang sound ng aking laptop ay sira kaya hindi ako Ay, hindi nila ako naririnig. Yung earpod ko is hindi rin siya ano ngayon, hindi rin siya okay ngayon. Wala kayo talagang mano. So, we have 2 raised to 13. So, all you have to do is to click. So, may mga ganitong calculator ha. Itong may X, tapos merong parang square sa taas. So, yan, ganyan yung lalabas sa calculator nyo. Then, type nyo yung 2. Tapos, yung sa exponent, type nyo po yung 13. Then, equal. And that is 8,192. So, we have 8,192. 100 times 8,192. So, ang dali lang yan. Add 2 zeros lang. 8,192,00. So, our A sub 14 or the 14th term is 819,200. Okay? So, this formula is used to solve for a specified term. So, this is what you learned in our last topic nung last week, right? So, we will now proceed dun sa ating geometric mean. And again, nabanggit ko na nga sa inyo kung ano yung formula. And the formula is R equals n minus k root of a sub n divided by a sub k. Ayusin ko lang yung pagsulat ko ng R. Yung R dapat nandyan at yung equal sign nasa gitna dapat ng vinculum. Okay, lagi niyong tatandaan yun. Pag may fraction kayo and meron kayong equal sign, dapat yung vinculum nakapantay. Itong vinculum na tinatawag natin, yung linya, dapat nakapantay sa ating equal sign. Okay? Anyway, let's proceed. Pero parang narinig ko yung sarili ko eh. Okay, number 1. What is the geometric mean between 3 and 8? So, dito, pwede natin gamitin yung formula for R or the ratio, then isolve natin yung nasa gitna. Okay? Na term. Pwede rin natin gamitin yung isa pang solution para makuha natin yung mismong term. Okay? Bigyan ko kayo ng dalawang choices kung paano nyo gagamitin. So, hatiin lang natin to. Wow, ang ganda ng hati ko, di ba? Sobrang ganda ng hati ko. Ayusin lang natin. Ito yung calculator. Ay, calculator. Ba't calculator? So, let us... Ayan, tapingi lang yung aking notebook, no? Ayan. So, what are we going to do is, we are going to have two different solutions. Yung una, we will use the formula R is equal to n minus k root of a sub n divided by a sub k. The other one is yung proportion. When do we say proportion, I am referring to this, which is a sub 2 divided by a sub 1 equals a sub 3 divided by a sub 2. Do you remember this? Yung ginawa natin last time para makuha yung ratio. This is also a formula for ratio, pero it is something na nakuha natin, no, to get ginamit natin to get the ratio of the terms. Pero ito ay applicable lang kung ang nawawala ay isa lang. Okay? Yung nawawala yung nasa gitna lang. Tulad nung given natin. Ang nawawala dito ay isa lang kasi sabi geometric mean. Ibig sabihin isa lang. So, that's 3 Tapos merong geometric mean dyan, and then we have 8. So, isa lang yung nawawala. Pwede natin gamitin to. Whereas kapag 2 or more yung nawawala, we will use this formula. Okay? So, again, kung isa lang, 1 lang yung nawawala, and kapag 2 or more, yung nawawala sa ating term, or kaya naman yung kailangan natin kunin na geometric mean, kailangan mo munang kunin yung R. Dito kasi yung mismong term na hinahanap natin. So, let's write the sequence. Yung sequence natin is 3. Pag-isa na natin. 3. Tapos, may geometric mean tayo dyan, then 8. 3 geometric mean, tapos 8. Again, when we say geometric mean, these are term, or kaya naman terms that are between, wait lang, may ang tawag dito, accept. Ayan. These are term or terms that are between two non-consecutive terms. Okay? Ang tulad nito, non-consecutive sila, ano yung nasa gitna nila? Let's proceed. Kapag ito yung ginamit natin, pwede natin siya gamitin sa ganitong sitwasyon since isa lang ang nawawala, yung a sub 2 lang natin. Okay? So this is our a sub 1, a sub 2, a sub 3. Now, we are going to get the proportion. So, itong part lang na to yung kukunin natin. Yan. So, we have a sub 2. We represent that with a variable. Gamit tayo ng variable para mas madali, which is variable x. And then, we will proceed dito sa ating proportion. We have x divided by 3 equals 8 divided by 3. Oh, no, not 3. It's x. Yan. Yan. So, this is our a sub 2 divided by a sub 1. A sub 3 divided by a sub 2. Now, the next step here is to cross multiply. So, pag nag-cross multiply na tayo, this will be x times x and 3 times 8. So, x times x is x squared. Well, 3 times 8 is 24. So, we have x squared is equal to 24. Next, we are going to look for the variable x, right? So, kung variable x yung kailangan natin, hindi pwedeng x squared, yung equivalent, or kaya naman yung matitira dito sa ating solution. Dapat x lang, variable x lang. So, to do that, we have to get the square root of both sides ng equation. So, we have square root of x squared equals square root of 24. So, yung square root po ng x squared, cancel na natin yan. Yung exponent and yung radical sign. So, mga matitira na lang ay variable x equals, how about si 24? 24 is not a perfect square. So, it has no exact value kapag kinuha mo yung square root niyan. Let me give you an example. O, kapag kinuha natin yung square root ni 24, yan ang lalabas. Okay? So, kapag naka-calculator ka. Or, pwede rin naman, ganito. No, naka-decimal. So, paano natin makukuha yung answer na to, na 2 square root of 6? Of course, you have to think of a factor na perfect square. So, yung factor ni 24 na perfect square, na may perfect square, is yung 4. Okay? 4 times, you have to think of a number para maging 24 pa rin siya. So, that's 4 times 6. Okay? So, 4 times 6. Ngayon, silang dalawa yung ilalagay natin sa loob ng radical sign. So, ano yung magiging next answer natin dito or next part ng ating solution? Next part would be 4 times 6. And then since 4 is a perfect square, you get the square root of that, and the square root of that is 2. So we have x is equal to 2. Then yung 6 may iwan sa loob ng radical sign. So we have 2 square root of 6. So this will be our final answer. So kapag kumukuha tayo ng square root, tandaan nyo rin na positive, negative yan ha. Ibig sabihin, positive 2 square root of 6 o kaya naman negative 2 square root of 6. Yung answer natin. Okay? So, dito makikita ninyo that the answer is letter C. Now, going back to the solution, dito naman sa kabila, ang ating goal is to look for the ratio. Okay? So, kapag kinuha niyo yung ratio, pwede rin naman. That's a good step din for us to get the middle term. Try lang natin, okay? So, itry natin. R is equal to 3 minus 1. Kasi ito yung ano natin. Sige, explain ko muna. So, ito yung A sub K natin. Is A sub N. Remember that A sub N is the higher term and A sub K is the lower term. Saan nyo siya titingnan? Titingnan nyo siya dun sa N. So, si higher term, yung N niya mas mataas kesa dun sa K ni lower term. Okay. So, the lower term, this the higher term. K here is 1 kasi pang first term siya. A sub 1 kasi siya. This A sub 2. This A sub 3. So, N natin dito is 3. So, substitute natin siya dun sa formula. R is equal to 3 minus 1 root of 8 divided by 3. Okay? So, as you can see, we have the square root and we have 8 divided by 3. So, mag-iisip kayo, ano ba yung value that is equal to 8 divided by 3? Or simply, para ma-simplify natin to, bakit ako naglagay ng 2? So, kahit di na tayo maglagay ng 2 dyan, square root pa rin yan. So, makikita nyo, si square root of 8 divided by 3 is actually equal siya kay square root of 8 divided by square root of 3. Kasi pareho silang may radical sign. Bakit natin to ginagawang square root of 8 divided by square root of 3? Kasi isi-simplify natin siya. So, kapag ginawa natin yan, ganito magiging itsura niyan. Square root of 8 divided by square root of 3. Tapos, di ba, naaalala nyo nung grade 9, tinuro sa inyo how to simplify radical signs. Kapag meron kang denominator na square root of 3, multiply mo siya, both numerator and denominator, sa square root of 3, square root of 3, over square root of 3. Para ma-simplify. So, this is square root of 3 times square root of 3 will have square root of 24 over square root of 9. So, di ba, hindi na magiging, ayan, sige, okay, go tayo. So, square root of 24 over square root of 9. Dito na tayo sa taas. Makakuha natin dyan ay equals square root of 24 over 3. Ayan, square root of 24 over 3. So, ang ating R ay square root of 24 over 3. So, paano natin makukuha yung next term? Mumultiply natin siya. So, that's 3 times yung R na square root of 24 over 3. Pag minultiply mo yan, may denominator itong 1. Numerator times numerator. Then we have denominator times denominator. Okay? Or simply, cancel this out. So, ano magiging answer natin? Our final answer is 24. Square root of 24. So, ang answer dito ay square root of 24. And remember that square root of 24 is 2 square root of 6. So, that's 2 square root of 6. Okay, nanggaling siya dito. So, alin ang mas madali kapag isa lang yung nawawala? Is it the first solution that we have or the second solution that we have? I want you to type your answer sa ating info messages. Kapag isa lang yung nawawala, ano yung mas madaling gamitin? Is it number 1 or number 2? Wait lang, replyan ko lang yung classmate nyo. Ayan, mas madali po yung number 1 solution natin kapag isa lang yung nawawala. Okay. So, dito, proceed tayo dun sa isa lang yung nawawala. Remember that when we say geometric means, it is a term or terms between extremes of a geometric sequence. So, yung 7 at 28 dito is the extremes. Kanina, we have 3, and 8. So, si 3 and 8 naman dito yung extremes na tinatawag natin. Okay? So, para makuha mo yan, mas madaling gamitin yung unang solution, di ba? So, let's label a sub 2 as x, and then we write the proportion. So, we can also write it ng magkabaliktad sila, x over 7 equals 28 over x. Pwede din yun. It's the same. Then we cross multiply, so maging x squared times equals 7 times 28. So their product is 192, and you get the square root of that. Square root of that is positive negative 14. So ganun lang kadali kapag yung unang solution yung ginamit natin. So let us try doing that dito sa ating nearpod. Meron dyan na mga pairs, cards, that you have to match. So, magmamatch po kayo ng mga cards. So, pag nag-match po kayo ng mga cards, makikita nyo doon may dalawang given na terms, tapos hahanapin nyo yung nasa gitna nila. So, gagawin nyo rin po yung ganitong solution. Okay, so you can now try answering yung sa cards. Ayan, meron na tayong isang online, si Unite. So, ang nagtutry pa lang as of now, makikita nyo sa aking screen ay si Unite. How about the others? So, later, sasagutan din natin kung ano yung sinasagutan nyo dyan. Ayan, so meron tayong 3 estudyante na nagsasagot. Ay, 4, 5, wow, madag pala. So, 7 silang nandito, yung 5 nagsasagot. Dito, kapag mas konting try, ibig sabihin, mas nadalian kayo or nag-solve kayo. Pag mas maraming try, bago mo nakuha yung sagot, syempre iba yung ibig sabihin nun. Okay? So, let us look at the pairs na sinagutan nila. So, makikita nyo dito sa pairs na sinagutan nila, lagay natin siya dito sa ating wait lang. Lagay natin siya dito. Asa na ba ako? Ayan. Ito. So let us look at this. Ito yung mga pairs na sinagutan nila kanina. So kung mapapansin nyo, Kung titignan nyo lang yung mga yung mga sagot, malalaman nyo kung ano yung answer for that number. Okay? So, dito, we have 3, 8. Alam nyo na yan, no? 2 square root of 6. Kasi yan yung example natin kanina. Well, this one, we have 125. So, kung iniisip mo yung magkakasunod, 10, 50, 25, makukuha mo agad siya. Or, pwede rin naman gamitin natin yung solution. So, that's x over 100 equals 25 over 100. Or x. So, cross-multiply this. Magkakaroon tayo ng x squared equals 2500. And you get the square root of that. Isin natin yung kulang yan. And if you get the square root of that, x is equal to 50. Right? So, dito naman sa isa, we have 1/2 and 1/8. So, that is 1/2, 1/8. Paano natin gagawin yon? Ganun pa rin. Use variable x. And we write it. X over 1/2 equals 1 over 8 over x. So, cross-multiply. We have x squared is equal to 1/2 times 1/8. Okay? O kaya, if you multiply this, pwede rin naman tuldok na lang. Ang hirap lang kasi magtuldok dito. Ay lumalabas na kung ano-ano. Yan. So, paano natin i-multiply yan? Numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. So, we have x squared is equal to 1 over 16. Then, you will get the square root. Pag kinuha na natin yung square root, cancel na to, yung exponent. So, we have x is equal to, ang square root ng 1 is 1, ang square root ng 16 ay 4. So, this will be our answer dito. Okay? So, tama yung sagot ninyo dyan. So, how about dun sa ibang, wait lang, I'll duplicate. How about here? We have 3 and 1/3. So, si 3 and 1/3, 3, tapos 1/3. So, if you represent that as variable x, you'll have x equals 3, then equal to equals 1/3 over x. So we have x squared is equal to 3 times 1/3. So pwede na natin ito i-cancel out. X squared is equal to 1. If you get the square root of this, x is equal to 1. So ito yan. Okay? Now how about dun sa mga may exponent tayo? So, ayusin ko lang. Lakihin lang natin para mas makita nyo. Ayan. So, kapag ito naman, yung given, pwede kang gumamit ng ibang variable. So, we have x raised to 7. Laki ng 7 ko. Then, we can replace it or use a variable a here. Then, ganun pa rin. A over x equals x raised to 7 over a. Then we have to cross multiply. This is a squared is equal to x times x raised to 7. And kapag nag-multiply kayo ng variable, remember, i-add natin yung kanilang exponent. So magiging a squared is equal to x raised to 8. So you get the square root. Pag kinuha nyo po yung square root niyan, makakancel na yung squared. May iwan si a. Pero dito, ang ibig sabihin po niyan ay yung x ninyo merong exponent na fraction. Diba? Remember, si square, itong radical sign, ito po yan. So kapag dinivide mo siya, 8 divided by 2, that's 4. So ang magiging ano natin dito ay x raised to 4. So this is the correct answer. So ganun din dito. Diretso na natin, no? A squared is equal to x squared x squared times x raised to 8. So add natin sila. A squared is equal to x raised to 10. Get the square root. And if you get the square root, maka-cancel out na to. We'll have a is equal to x raised to 10 divided by 2. A is equal to x raised to. Okay, so we have this answer. So ganun po kapag may variable. Nakaintindihan? So let us now proceed dun sa susunod natin. Paano kapag hindi lang isa yung nawawala? Paano kapag ang nawawala is 2 or more? So let's say we have this kung saan 2 or more ang nawawala. So syempre, gagamit na tayo dyan ng formula. So yung formula again is R equals, ginawa na natin siyang n-1 kasi lagi naman, kadalasan naman, ang binibigay ay first term. Okay? So that's n-1 square root of a sub n divided by the first term. Kapag nag-substitute tayo dyan, ang n natin dito ay 5. Ang n natin dito ay 1. Alam nyo na yon. So the larger term or higher term is 16 and the lower term is 1. So 16 divided by 1 is 16. So you get the fourth root of 16, which is 2. So multiply lang natin dito. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. So ganun lang po kadali. Next, how about if we have 125 and 64? So si 125 and si 64, mag-i-insert tayo ng dalawang numbers between them. So 125, then we have this number and that number, and we have 64. Okay? So to do that, we will use the formula. The formula is equal to n minus k or n minus 1. Kadalasan naman kasi ng binibigay ay the first term. Yan. So we have n, a sub n, a sub k, and pansinin ninyo, first term siya lagi. So n natin dito is 4, k natin dito is 1. So 4 minus 1. A sub n natin is 64. A sub k natin is 125. Next, 4 minus 1 is 3. So we have cube root of 64 over 125. So pwede nyo na siyang idiretso. Pwedeng idiretso, no? So ito muna. Tapos fraction. Ay, no, 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 not that. Dapat may cube root muna tayo. Yan. So dapat 3. Tapos dito, saka tayo magpa-fraction. Cube root ng 64. Ito sa mga mayroon lang calcu na medyo high-tech ka. Yung mga hindi pa kalumang calcu. So it will give us 4 over 5. So paano pag hindi ma'am, paano pag hindi po hindi makabago yung calculator? Kailangan yung gumamit ng mga parentheses para alam na yun yung kukunin na cube root. Wala kasi akong nakuha ng lumang calculator pa eh. Pero I will try to look for dun sa lumang calculator. So equals 4 over 5. Ano ibig sabihin nito? The ratio is equal to 4 over 5. I-multiply natin siya ngayon dun sa previous term. So, that is 125 times 4 over 5. So, pwede tayo dito mag-cancel out. This is 1. This is 25. Then 25 times 4 is 100. This one, second term is 100. Next, we have 100 times 4 over 5. Cancel this out again. This is 1. And 100 divided by 5 is 20. So that's 80. Okay? So that is the two terms between 125 and 64. Pwede rin kayong mag-try sa calculator, which is mas madali. So 125 times 4 over 5, 100 times, ganun pa rin, 4 over 5, 80. O, try natin i-check. Times 4 over 5 ulit. Check natin kung 64. And the answer is 64. So, ganyan po paano gagamit ng calculator para may calculator kayo, hindi kayo mahirapan. By the way, if you don't have calculator, pwede kayong mag-install galing sa ating Google Play Store habang hindi pa tayo face-to-face. Pwede nyo siyang gamitin yung mga cellphones nyo as the calculator. Pero pag nagsasagot na kayo ng inyong assessment at ng inyong written work, dapat po meron kayong isa pang gamit. So since meron kayong tablet, meron kayong cellphone, pwede nyo silang gamitin pareho. So habang nagsasagot kayo, nagka-calculator kayo gamit yung inyong Google Play Store. Okay? Now, let's proceed. So the formula for the common ratio is this, which is R equals n minus k square root of a sub n divided by a sub k. Where yung n natin means the number of terms and k is 1. Kadalasan kasi ng binibigay na term is the first term since it's the first term replacement and we have R for the common ratio. Next, we have here different examples at number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I want you to answer this. Pwede kayong mag-comment sa ating in-call messages kung ano yung ratio. Ratio muna tayo, ratio ng bawat number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You may use the formula which is A sub n, I don't know, not A sub n, but R is equal to, ulat ko nga, n minus k root of A sub n divided by A sub k. Sige, pwede kayong mag-comment sa ating in-call messages. Nagsasagot na po ba? You try to solve for the R. R lang po nga hanapin. Anyone? Yes, Unite?
Sa number 1 po, 7, yung common ratio.
7. So
Okay.
this is 2 times 7 is 14. 14 times 7. What is 14 times 7?
98 po.
98.
98 po, ma'am.
Correct. Times 7 is 686. Correct. So the ratio here is 7. How about for number 2, 3, 4, 5? O yung 5, madali lang yan. Yung 3, lalong mas madali. You can try it. Sinong gustong magsagot ng number 2? Okay, you can raise your hand. Or 3, 4, 5. Type nyo sa in-call messages yung gustong magsagot para alam ko kung sino. Si Galamiton, feeling ko papatay eh. Feeling ko mambabaril eh.
Ma'am, ganyan lang po talaga profile ko po.
Magpalit kasi kayo ng profile nyo. Diyos mio. Nakakagulat kayo pag bigla kayong pumapasok eh. Siguro kung
Ma'am,
may sakit sa puso yung teacher nyo, pagpasok nyo, magugulat na lang siya, no? Takihin siya sa puso.
papalit po ako ma'am sa dako. Sunod.
Yeah. Kawawa naman yung nasa FB live natin. Sabi nila hindi daw ako naririnig pa rin. Nakakonect na yung earpod ko. Pero hindi pa rin daw ako naririnig. Ay, kawawa naman sila. I-upload ko na lang to sa para makita pa rin nila yung paano sinasagutan to. Basta kaya yung mga hindi pumasok. O, sino nang nagsasagot ng number 2, 3, 4? Yes, Justin?
Sa 2 po, ma'am. 1-8.
1-8 yung R. Yeah.
Opo.
R here is 1-8. So, ano yung next terms ko? Ito. Yung third. Third term muna. So, 24 times 1-8. Divisible sila pareho ng 8. So, this is 1, this is 3. So, ang sagot ay 3. 3 times 1, 8. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 1 is 3. Then 8 times 1 is 8. Ayan. So, ganito na lang gawin natin para mas makita nyo. 3/8. Paano yung first term? So, dito nagmo-multiply tayo, right? Kaso pabalik tayo, papunta tayo sa first term. So, instead of multiplying, magde-divide tayo. So, that's 24 divided by 1/8, which is equal to 24, times the reciprocal of 1/8, which is 8. So, 24 times 8 is equal to 192. So, yung first term natin is 192. Okay? Next, number 3. How about number 3? Sige. Solve number 3, 4, 5. Yes, Asher.
Ay ma'am, napindot lang po ma'am.
Number 3, sobrang dali lang nito kasi tignan nyo, 4 tapos naging 8. So, ano kaya yung R nito? Kaya
2
hindi
po.
nyo na-isolve. 2, correct. So, dahil pabalik tayo, papunta tayo dun sa first term, instead of multiplying, ang gagawin natin kabaliktaran, that is dividing. So, 8 divided by 2, 4. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 1 divided by 2 is 1 half. Okay, kaya sabi ko kanina, ang dali lang ng number 3. How about for number 4? Madali lang din to. Kunin nyo lang yung ano nila. Ito, kaya ko siya nakuha kasi 8 divided by 4. Remember yung sa ratio, yung relationship, yung larger or yung higher term divided by the lower term para makuha natin yung ratio. So, ang naging ratio nito is 2. Ito naman, pwede din natin gawin yun sa kanya. 1/4 ay dapat 1 half muna. Higher term kasi si 1 half. 1 half divided by 1/4. So that is equal to, copy the the numerator, then multiply it to the reciprocal of the denominator, which is 4/1. So we can cancel out here, since 2 is divisible by 2 and 4 is divisible by 2. So 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 1 is 1. So that's 2/1 or simply 2. So ang ratio po nito ay 2. So if we multiply that to 2, check natin. So si 1/4 kapag minultiply kay 2, magka-cancel tayo dito. So 2, ito 1. Tama, 1 half ang answer. Si 1 half times 2, magka-cancel out din tayo dyan. Because both of them are divisible by 2, may iwan na lang 1. Here, dahil pabalik tayo, division ang gagawin natin. So 1/4 divided by 2. Wala na tayong space. Dito tayo sa kabila. 1/4 divided by 2. So that's equal to 1/4 times 1 half, which is equal to 1/8. Okay, so 1 times 1 is 1. 4 times 2 is 8. Next, how about for number 5? Napaka-simple lang nito at napakadali. So let us try solving number 5 para hindi na tayo matagalan. Let me just erase the writings. Okay. So for number 1, we have r is equal to n minus 1. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 6 minus 1. 1/3 divided by 81. So, mag-minus tayo dito, tapos dito is i-simplify natin. So, we have 5 square root of, copy the numerator, multiply it to the reciprocal of the denominator. Reciprocal ng 81 is 1/81. So, 1 times 1 is 1. So, 5th root of 1 over 3 times 81. What is 3 times 81?
243 po.
243. Then we will get the cube root, or no, the 5th root of this. So para makuha natin yung 5th root, we will use a calculator. So 5th root, shift tayo, tapos pindutin natin to. Ayan. Wait lang. Ayan. So we have 5th root of, then gawin natin tong fraction. Ito yung fraction. 1/243. Tapos equal lang natin siya. And that is equal to 1/3. So our R here is equal to 1/3. So, ano lang gagawin natin? Multiply lang natin siya to get the geometric means. So, 81 times 1/3, both divisible by 3. So, this is 1. 81 divided by 3, 27. So, 27 times 1/3, we have 9. Times 1/3, we have 3. Times 1/3, we have 1. Times 1/3, we have 1/3. Okay? So, R here is 1/3. Malinaw po ba paano nakuha yung ratio and how did we get the geometric means? If yes, we will now proceed sa ating next topic. No? So, iwan na natin si geometric mean. Punta na tayo kay geometric series. Si geometric series, simple lang yung konsepto niyan. Mag-a-add tayo. Okay, mag-a-add tayo or kukunin natin yung sum of terms. When we say sum, what operation are we going to use? Pag sum, anong operation yan? Is that multiplication? Yes,
Addition.
Justin. Addition. Meaning, we have to add the terms. Kaya lang, sa geometric series, of course, alam naman natin, there is an infinite, there is a finite. Okay? So, there is an infinite, there is a finite. Pag sinabing infinite, anong klaseng sequence ba sa infinite sequence? Kung natatandaan yung mga unang-unang lesson natin. When we say infinite sequence, anong klaseng sequence to? Anong klaseng sequence to sa infinite? Ano ibig sabihin ng infinity? Yes, Unite.
Wala pong katapusan o hanggan nun.
Opo, walang katapusan, walang hanggan. So, ganun din si infinite. From the word infinite, sa infinity kasi galing sa word infinite, meaning it has no end. Or simply, we can say it's endless. Sa mathematics, it has no last term. Lahat ng to pertains to infinite. Well, when we say finite, si finite naman, of course, kabaliktaran niya, it has last term. It is not endless, it has an end. Okay? So looking at the two, of course, there are different ways on how to solve them. Kung paano makukuha yung sum ng infinite at paano makukuha yung sum ng finite. Kasi pag finite, pwede natin makuha yung sum. Bakit? Hanggang dun lang kasi yung term. Pero sa infinite, kung hindi natatapos yung mga terms, paano natin makukuha yung sum niya kung hindi natatapos yung terms? Ibig sabihin, continuous sa paglaki, continuous yung sum, no? Hindi nagkakaroon ng definite na sum. So let us look at two different situations sa geometric series. First, let us have the finite geometric series. So kaya nga siya tinawag na finite geometric series kasi meron tayo ditong last term. Alam natin kung hanggang saan lang yung i-add natin. Alam natin kung ilang terms lang yung i-add natin. Okay? Yung formula natin dito, please take note of this. Yung formula natin na gagamitin dito, please take note of the formula kasi later itatanong ko yan sa inyo, is S sub n equals the first term times 1 minus r raised to n divided by 1 minus r, where S sub n is the sum, a sub 1 is the first term, n is the number of terms, and r is the common ratio. So, alam na yung mga definition ng mga yan. So let's proceed. So tulad dito, we are going to look for the 5 terms only. The sum of the 5 terms. First 5 terms ng ating geometric sequence, which is 4, -12, 36. So yung iba kanina, for sure ang ginawa, nung nagsagot sila, nag-add na lang sila, no? Inanap nila yung dalawang terms at nag-add. Okay? Pwede rin namang hindi nyo na hanapin yung yung mga terms itself. Kunwari, first 10 terms, alangan hanapin nyo pa yung 10 term na yon. No, pwede naman kayong mag-add kahit hindi nyo pa alam kung ano-ano yung mga terms. Just by using the formula. So what is the formula again? Can you please repeat the formula? S sub n is equal to?
A sub
Anyone?
1 po.
Yes, a sub 1 times
Times 1.
1 minus
Ratio po ba?
ratio
R,
raised to
N.
n. Correct. Divided by?
1 minus R.
Correct. So this is the formula for finite geometric series, kung saan alam natin kung hanggang ilang terms lang yung kailangan nating i-add. So what we're going to do is to identify the given. So yung given po ay yung n, yung first term, and of course yung r. So para makompleto natin yung solution natin, we have to identify the number of terms, the first term, and of course, the ratio. So how many terms are we going to add?
5 po.
Correct. So our n is 5. So pareho kayong tama. What is the first term?
4 po.
The first term is 4. Correct. And how about for the r? Ano yung r natin? R is equal to? So from here, malalaman nyo kung ano yung r. Ano kaya yung next? Ano yung number? Constant number that when you multiply it to 4, it becomes -12. You multiply it to -12, becomes 36. The next term becomes 36. Okay, anyone, if you have an idea, nahihiya kayong sabihin, you can type. Yes,
Po,
Justin?
-3.
-3. Sino pa isang sumagot?
Ako po.
Anong sagot mo? O, sabi nga, -3 daw po ang sagot, sabi ni Justin. So, we have -3. 4 times -3, magiging -12. Multiply mo to ulit sa -3, you will get 36. And that is correct. So, substitute lang natin siya. Yung mga values na yan dun sa ating formula. So, we have S sub 5 is equal to the first term, which is 4, times 1. Ay, gamit mo na tayo dito ng ng bracket, minus -3 raised to 5 divided by 1 minus -3. Okay? So, all we have to do is to raise -3 to 5. So, para magawa nyo po yun, you can use the calculator. So, mag-raise muna tayo sa 5. Tapos, lagay tayo dito ng parenthesis. Negative -3. Tapos, close parenthesis. Then, we equate it and we have -243. So, as you can see, since the exponent is 5, add siya. Therefore, the answer is also negative. So, -243. 4 times 1 minus negative 243 divided by what is 1 minus negative 3? You change the sign and then you proceed to addition. Ganun din dito. Change the sign, proceed to addition. So this will be 1 plus 3 which is equal to 4. Then as you can see sa numerator natin meron tayong 4. Sa denominator meron din tayong 4. So cancel this out. Kasi 1 na lang yan. So we'll have 1 plus 2, 4, 3. That's 2, 4, 4. So our S of 5 or the sum of the first 5 terms is equal to 244. Okay? So that is the sum of the first 5 terms of this sequence. Any question? May question po ba dito? If there's no question, proceed tayo sa susunod. Next. This one is a problem and it is about a spoiled meat. So, spoiled meat, there is a bacteria in it. The number of bacteria increases 5 times every hour. If the number of bacteria is 1,000 on the first hour, you have to complete the sequence until 5 hours. So let me write. We have 1,000. What will be the next term? Ano yung magiging next term ko? 1,000. Sunod?
2,000.
Ano po? Ano ulit? Di ko narinig.
2,000 po.
2,000 po ba? Is it 5 times? Si 2,000 ba 5 times? Remember that the next
5.
hour magiging 5 times na siya. Yes po. Anong sagot?
5,000.
Correct, Justin. That's 5,000. Anong sunod? After 5,000, natapos yung isang oras, gano'ng karami na yung bacteria doon sa spoiled?
25,000 po.
25,000 po.
25,000. Correct. Next. Pangatlong oras pa lang to. Pang-apat na oras?
125,000 po.
125,000. Correct. Next. Last hour, dun sa pang-5. Hindi pala last hour to. Pang-5 lang. Kasi pwede pa siya mag-continue. O, ilan na? 125,000. Sunod?
625,000.
Correct. 625,000. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the number of bacteria in each hour. Okay, sa una, 1,000 lang sila, tapos nadagdagan ng 5,000, tapos nadagdagan ng 25, and so on and so forth. Okay? Next. What is the total number of bacteria at the end of 5 hours? Sa tingin ninyo, ilan lahat ng total number of bacteria at the end of 5 hours? Ilan na lahat-lahat? What do you think? Is the total number of bacteria at the end of 5 hours?
781,000.
Okay, so that is 781,000. So since 781,000, ano yung ginawa natin? We simply add the given sequences. Or let's say yun lang yung alam natin, we can also use the formula. No, identify nyo lang yung n, identify nyo lang yung first term, and yung ratio. By doing that, you can also find the sum using the formula S sub n is equal to A sub 1 times 1 minus R raised to n divided by 1 minus R. So, pwede rin yun gawin, no? Without identifying each number of bacteria para sa different powers na meron tayo. Or, let's proceed. Ito naman, find the sum of the first 6 terms of a geometric sequence whose first term is 2 and common ratio is 2/3. So, ang gawin natin dito, sulat muna natin yung n. N is 6. First term is 2. Common ratio is 2/3. 6 to 2/3. 6 to 2/3. So, this is n. This is the first term. And this is r. So, we will use a formula. The formula is S sub n is equal to A sub 1 times 1 minus R raised to n divided by 1 minus R. Substitute natin. We have S sub 6 is equal to, first term is 2 times 1 minus 2/3. Sabit ulit tayo ng bracket. Raised to 6. 1 minus 2/6. Or 2/3 pala. So, sa calculator, erase natin si 2/3 to 6. We have this 6. So, ano tayo ng parenthesis? Ayan. Tapos, lagyan natin ng fraction. 2/3. Ay, 2/3. Ayan. So, we have 64 over 729. We have 2 times 1 minus 64 over 7 to 9. Tama ba ako ng naalala? Pakita nga natin. Yan. How about 1 minus 2/3? Ibig sabihin yan, yung isang buo, bawasan mo ng 2/3. Dali lang nun, di ba? So, para siyang si 1, gawin natin 3 over 3. So, 3 minus 2, that's 1. Ano ba itong lumalabas sa laptop? So, we have 1/3. Next, i-minus natin to. So, kung ito ginawa kong 3 over 3, ito naman, si 1, gagawin kong 729 over 729. So, mangyayari 729 over 729 minus 64 over 729. Kapag wala kang calculator, you can do that. Or simply, pwede tayong mag-subtract dito, 1 minus yung answer natin. And that gives us 665 over 729. So this is 2 times 665 over 729 over 1/3. So dito, pwede tayo mag-cancel out. Ano yung ka-cancel out natin? Si 2 tsaka si 729. Muna natin. 729 divided by 2, they are both divisible by 2 ba? Hindi sila divisible by 2. Tama ba tayo nang nilagay kanina na, ano? Sige, check ko na lang. 3 raised to 6, 729, tama. 2 raised to 6, 64. 1 minus 64 over 729, 665 over 729. Tama naman. So, i-multiply na lang natin siya to 2. If we multiply our answer to 2, magiging 130. Hindi tayo pwede mag-cancel out kasi magkakaroon tayo ng 0.5. Yan. So, multiply na natin siya. If we multiply this, magiging 1330 over 729 over 1/3. So, ito, ang gawin natin, kopyahin natin yung numerator, yung nasa taas, then divided by 729. Multiply natin siya sa reciprocal ni 1/3, and that is 3 over 1. So, si 729 is divisible by 3. Kapag dinivide natin yan sa 3, this will be 2, 4, 3. And ito, 1. So, ano yung magiging final answer natin dito? 1,330 times 1, 243 times 1. And that is S sub 6 is equal to 1,330 divided by 243. So this will be our final answer. Okay? So anong mas madali? Mas madali pag may calculator kayo. Para hindi kayo mahirapan mag-multiply. Next, we also have the sum of 10 terms. So n here is 10. A sub 1 is 4. And what is R? R is 1/2. So 4, naging 2, naging 1. Ibig sabihin yung R mo dyan ay 1/2. 10 for 1/2. Let's try to solve it. 10 for 1/2. So 10 is N. This is the first term. And this is R. Substitute natin ulit siya sa formulang na meron tayo. We have S sub N is equal to the first term times 1 minus R raised to N divided by 1 minus R. Okay? So, palitan na natin yung mga values. We have S sub 10 is equal to the first term, which is 4, times 1 minus 1/2 raised to 10 divided by 1 minus 1/2. So, dito, si 1/2 raised to 10, madali lang naman yan. Don't need to calculate. That's 4 times 1 minus, what is 2 raised to 10? Kasi si 1 raised to 10, 1 pa rin yan eh. Si 2 raised to 10, what is 2 raised to 10?
1,024.
Correct. That's 1,024. So 1 over 1,024. O, i-try nyo naman 1 minus 1 over 1,024. Minus nyo naman to. Kahit di kayo mag-calcu, alam nyo magiging sagot dyan. Bakit? Kasi minus 1 lang eh. So, si 1, dapat gawin natin siyang 1,024 over 1,024. Tapos mag-minus ka ng 1. O, anong sagot? 4 times, ano?
1,023 po.
Correct. 1,023 over, syempre may denominator pa rin siya, which is 1,024. How about 1 minus 1/2? What is 1 minus 1/2? O, isa, bawasan mo kalahati. Ganun lang yon. Ano sagot? 1 minus 1/2? No, pag bumili kayo ng isda, maloloko kayo. Di nyo alam yung 1 minus 1/2. Pag bumili kayo ng manok, di nyo alam kung ano yung kalahati. Ano po, Justin?
1/2.
Opo, 1/2 lang. Ganun lang kadali. Wait lang ah. So we have 1/2 here. And kung mapapansin nyo po, si 4 at saka si 1024, they are both divisible by 4. So pwede tayo dito mag-cancel out. Pag nag-cancel out tayo dyan, this is 1. And ito magiging 256. So meron tayong natitira sa numerator na 1023 over 256. And then sa denominator, we have 1/2. So sulat natin siya ng maayos. I guess, dudugtong ko siya dito sa kabila. So dito tayo sa kabila. So magiging 1023. Sulat natin yung numerator. And then kunin natin yung reciprocal nitong denominator. Multiply natin siya sa reciprocal ng denominator. So, reciprocal of the denominator is 2 over 1. So, 256 is still divisible by 2. So, pwede tayo dito mag-cancel out. This is 1. And this is 128. So, what will be the sum? Kung ano na lang yung natira? 1023 times 1 is 1023. 128 times 1 is 128. So S sub 10 is equal to 1023 over 128. So kapag medyo nalilito kayo sa mga fraction, balikan niyo yung lesson natin. I-upload ko na lang mamaya. Sana masend agad ni Google Meet. Okay? Now, let us have the infinity or the infinite. So, ito, mas madali ito kaysa dun sa kanina. Okay? Kasi ang formula nito mas mahaba kaysa dito. Si infinite geometric series kasi, mas maikli yung kanyang formula. And at the same time, you have to consider things like, possible ba na makuha yung kanyang sum? Kasi remember that when we say infinite, its number or its terms continues to grow. O kaya naman, continues to, tawag dito, it, it can produce terms continuously. Kasi it's infinite. The sequence produces terms continuously. So, dapat meron tayong ganitong activity kung saan maghahati kayo ng papel into symmetrical halves. Then you will draw a line. Tapos mag-shade kayo dun sa other half. Tapos yung other half, yung unshaded, i-divide nyo ulit sa isa pang kalahati. Then, ganun ulit, draw a line, shade a color, and then continue the same procedure. So like for example, I have this paper, no, hatiin ko yan sa gitna. Pag hinati ko yan sa gitna, kukulayan ko yung kabila. So, itong kabilang to, kinulayan, and that's 1/2. Yung natira, kukulayan ulit yan. Okay? And that's 1/4. Tapos yung natira, kukulayan ulit yan, hahatiin ulit. That's 1/8. Tapos, hati na naman. We'll have 1/16. Next is, hatiin ng hatiin, hati, hati, and tuloy-tuloy lang ang paghati. Okay? Hanggang sa, ayan, hanggang sa hindi na natin siya mahati, ano? So, this is an example of infinite geometric series. I mean, sequence. So, yung una, we have 1/2, the first term. Second term is 1/4, 1/8, 1/16, 1/32, and so on. Okay? So, ano yung kinalaman dito? Anong kinalaman nito sa infinite geometric series? Ang kinalaman po nito is that, pansinin ninyo, nagsimula tayo sa isang buong papel. So, pwede kong sabihin na nag-umpisa tayo sa 1, tapos hinati natin ang hinati, then we created a geometric sequence. Pero pag inad natin lahat yan, ang answer is still 1. Okay? So let us find out, paano ba malalaman if a certain sequence has a sum or no sum. Alamin natin if the sequence has a sum or no sum. So we have these two terms here or words. We have converges and diverges. When we say converges, yung sum, partial sum niya approaches to a finite number. Meaning, there is a sum. Kapag diverges, yung partial sum niya continues to grow. That's why we cannot get the sum. Ibig sabihin, there is no sum. Since converges, its sum approaches a number, may sum tayo makukuha dyan. Okay, pwede natin siyang i-add. Pwede natin kunin yung infinite geometric series niyan. While si diverges naman, since continuous yung paglaki nung kanyang sum, hindi natin ma-identify yung definite na sum nito. Now, ano yung mga characteristic na kailangan yung tandaan dito sa converges as sa diverges? Una, pag converges, yung ratio natin nasa pagitan ni -1 and +1. So, ibig sabihin, basta nasa pagitan ni -1 at ni 1, yung iyong R, pangit ng R ko, no? Ang iyong R, let's say, -1/2, +1/2, 1/4, and so on and so forth. As long as nandito siya sa pagitan ni -1 at 1, hindi siya aabot kay -1, hindi siya aabot kay 1, meron tayong sum. Okay, so can you give me examples of ratio na nasa pagitan ni -1 at ni 1? Sige nga, can you give me an example of ratio na nasa pagitan ni -1 at ni 1? Anyone? May alam kayo na ratio? Ano na yung mga ratio na nakita nyo kanina na hindi siya equal to 1, hindi rin equal to -1, kundi nasa gitna nilang dalawa, nasa pagitan nila. Remember the number line? So, ito yung 0, ito yung 1, ito yung -1. So, lahat ng nandyan, lahat ng number na nandyan sa pagitan nila, yun yun. Sige nga, magbigay nga kayo ng example Let us have, nasaan na kayo? Continue na. Nawala na si Kayanan. Ay, andyan pala si Kayanan. Lorraine. Can you give an example of R na nasa pagitan ni negative 1 and 1?
2 po.
2. Si 2 ba less than 1? Less than 1 ba si 2? Pwede siya sabihin na greater than negative 1. Pero less than 1 ba siya? Yes or no?
No.
No. So, hindi siya pwede. Wala siyang sum. So, kapag ang R nyo ay 2, dito siya, diverges. Ibig sabihin, there is no sum. Kasi there is no sum, basta greater than negative 1, greater than 1, greater than or equal to 1, o kaya naman less than or equal to negative 1, wala nang sum. So, ano-ano pa yung pwedeng ratio ng given sequence ang makakahanap tayo ng sum. Sige, another example. Unite.
1/8 po.
Yes, 1/8. Very good. Pag 1/8 yung sum mo, yung ratio mo, therefore, magkakaroon ka ng sum. How about Justin? Justin, Bernal? O, dali,
1/5.
1/5. Okay. Meron din yon. May sum din yan. O, Kayanan, bawi ka.
1/3 po, ma'am.
1/3. So, pag naging negative to, negative 1/3, negative 1/8, negative 1/5, meron pa rin. As long as hindi siya magiging negative 1, as long as hindi siya magiging 1 and up. Ito, negative 1 and below. Nagkakaintindihan? So, for you to understand it more, let us have different sequences, geometric sequences, and then we will identify kung ano ba yung ratio ng mga yan para malaman natin if may sum ba to or walang sum. So ito, we have 1/3, tapos 1, 3, 9, 27, 20, 81. Ano yung ratio nito? Ratio of this is? Ano po yung ratio nito?
3.
3. So may sum po ba o wala? Ratio is 3. May sum o wala?
Wala po.
Wala po. Correct. No sum. Next. 1, negative 2, 4, negative 8, 16, negative 32. Ano yung ratio nito? What is the ratio of this?
-2.
Negative 2. R is negative 2, correct? May sum? Wala.
Wala po.
Wala po. Tama. So, walang sum. Next. 1/2, 1/4, 1/8, 1/16. Ano yung R natin dito? R is? Dito tayo magsulat sa taas. R is? What will be our R?
1 po.
1? 1 ano? 1? 1? 1 ano? Pag nag-multiply tayo dyan, 1/2, tapos naging 1/4.
2 po.
Apo, 1/2 or 1/2. So, meron ba tong sum o wala?
Meron po.
Meron, correct. Next, 30. Ay, 90, 30, 10, 10/3, 10/9. Ano yung ratio nito? 1/, saan siya dinivide?
1/3.
Correct. So, may ratio wala. I mean, may sum wala.
Meron po.
Correct, meron. Next, 3/5. Ano yung ratio nito? So, from 3 naging 12. From 5 naging 25. So, ano yung fraction na ratio nito? 3 naging 12, 5 naging 25. O, dali, para hindi tayo umabot ng 11. Ano yung multiply natin to 3 to make it 12? 3 times
4.
4. Correct. Sa denominator, 5 tapos naging 25. Anong number yung multiply?
5.
5. So, the ratio is 4/5. So, dahil siya ay fraction, and at the same time, it is between -1 and 1, pare-pareho sila, lahat sila merong sum. Okay? So, let us have the formula. So, ano yung sinasabi ko sa inyo kanina? Mas madali yung formula nito. Bakit? Sa numerator natin, we only have a sub 1. And sa denominator, we have 1 minus r. So, this is the formula for infinite geometric series, where you are getting the sum of infinite geometric sequence. So, let us have an example. So, dito, we have this sequence, 25. So, ang sequence natin dito, isulat ko lang 25, -5, +1, -1/5, +1/25, and so on. So, it is possible to solve the sum of this because the ratio here is -1/5. So, ano lang gagawin? First, get this first term and the ratio. So, wala na tayong n, but we will use the infinity, meaning infinite geometric series yan. So, 25/1 plus 1/5. So, that's 6/5. So, magiging 25/6/5. Then, i-multiply natin si 25 dun sa reciprocal ng 6/5, which is 5/6. So, we'll get sum of infinity. Infinity is equal to, wait lang, may napipindot ako. Sum of infinity, o diba may napipindot talaga ako. Very good. So, we have the sum of infinity is equal to 125/6. Another example, 0.2, 0.04, 0.008, and the ratio is 0.2. Therefore, copy the first term and then write the ratio, divide, so you'll get 0.25. So let us try solving for the sum of this. Itong tatlo kanina. So, kunin muna natin si first term at si ratio. So, sa first term ay 1/2 and the ratio is 1/2. So, let us use the formula S sub n is equal to first term divided by 1 minus r. So, sa unang example natin, remember that the first term is 1/2. And the ratio is also 1/2. So S sub n, or S sub infinity, is equal to the first term, 1/2, divided by 1 minus 1/2. So, ang dali lang nito. 1 minus 1/2 is still 1/2. 1/2 divided by 1/2, cancel na natin yan. They are both 1. Or should I say, pag dinivide natin siya, ang sagot ay 1. So, the sum of infinity is equal to 1. So, ito yung example ko sa inyo kanina na nag-start tayo sa isang buong papel. Tapos, nakita natin na tuloy-tuloy yung geometric series, or I mean sequence, habang nagtutupi-tupi tayo ng other halves. Okay? Next, A sub 1 natin dito is 90. 90 tapos 1/3 yung R. First term is 90. Ratio is 1/3. We will substitute that to the formula. S sub n is equal to the first term divided by 1 minus R. So S sub infinity is equal to 90 divided by 1 minus 1/3. 1 minus 1/3, ito gawin natin siyang 3/3, which is, pag sinubtract natin sila, we'll have 2/3. Copy the numerator. Multiply mo siya sa reciprocal ng denominator, which is 3/2. Since si 90 at si 2 ay divisible both kay 2, this is 1, this is 45. Pwede tayong mag-cancel out. And ang matitira na lang sa atin is 45 times 3. What is 45 times 3? What is 45 times 3?
135 po.
135. So, the sum of infinity is equal to 135. Okay, last one. Last example. Then, ano na tayo? Tapos na tayo. A sub 1 is 3/5. Di pala nakikita yung sulat mo. A sub 1 is 3/5. Ratio is 4/5. 3, 5, 4, 5. So we have 3/5, 4/5. So this is the first term, and this is the ratio. So solve natin yan. Substitute natin sa formula. We have S sub infinity is equal to 3/5 divided by 4/5. 1 minus 4/5. So subtract muna natin to. We'll have 3/5. Sa denominator, magiging 1/5 na lang. Okay, kasi 5/5 na to. Next, copy the numerator. Multiply natin siya sa reciprocal ng 1/5. Magiging 5/1. Then we can cancel this out. Ang magiging final answer natin is 3. So sum of infinity is equal to 3. Okay, so this is how you answer. Mukha siyang nakakatakot i-solve kanina, 'di ba? Kasi mukhang mahirap dahil puro fraction. Pero actually, napakadali lang pag nag-divide na tayo. Okay? So, yung mga susunod na examples pa ay ipapasa ko na lang sa inyo to para may basis kayo kung nagsagot na kayo. Kasi 10:42 na. Okay, so ipapasa ko na lang yan later sa inyo. So I want you to type done sa ating in-call messages. Isa-send ko na sa inyo ngayon yung picture. Para hindi ko makalimutan. Kasi yung kahapon nakalimutan ko eh. So those are the examples kanina dito. So I'll stop the live. Bago kayo umalis dito, paalala ko lang na after nito, saka ako magbibigay ng attendance. Siyempre, para sa mga umattend lang. Don't forget to answer your attendance. Baka kasi makalimutan nyo. Kayo yung pumasok pero nakalimutan nyo mag-attendance. So, pinapaalala ko that you will be asked to react. So, ito, ipopost ko siya. Yan, mag-react kayo dyan. Then, pag natapos na mag-type ng done, you can now leave the class. And we will see each other next week. Yung PT3 po ninyo is na-post ko na. Yung WW3 maybe next week. Kasi magdi-discuss muna ako. Okay, so goodbye and thank you for being here today. Enjoy your lunch. Enjoy your day.
Thank you po, ma'am.
Bye po, ma'am. Thank you
Bye po,
po.
ma'am.
Thank you po.
Sana may natutunan kayo. Bye-bye.